a record store. 1960-something. Bins of 45 stretching further than a kid's allowance could ever reach. A needle drops on a listening booth turntable, and for 2 minutes and 40 seconds, the whole world outside that little glass box disappears. By the end, you're going to hear one story so strange. It involves a singer who missed the flight that killed the people she was supposed to be on it with, and never even knew it changed her life until decades later, when a rap group made her voice famous all over again without her knowing.
To be part of only someone to only though.
Baby Washington. That's how Heartaches are made. 1963, her only top 40 pop hit. Dusty Springfield
I would glad
later called Washington her all-time favorite singer and covered 2 of her songs. Yet Washington herself never experienced great crossover recognition. Fit. Genuinely obscure today, known mainly to soul collectors, not casual listeners. Wendy Rene. After laughter comes tears. 1964, christened by Otis Redding when she signed to Stax as a teenager.
a chance the other girls you play.
She retired from music in 1967 to raise her children and passed on what would have been her final show with Redding and the Barkays. The exact weekend their plane crashed into Lake Monona. In 1993, a friend of her son heard her voice on the radio, sampled by Wu-Tang Clan. Fit, the original is a deep cut most people only know secondhand through samples. Moses, Bad Girl, 1967, opens with Moses saying he's about to tell listeners something that happened to me a long time ago. He should have been as big as James Brown or Otis Redding, but lack of commercial success ended his career, and he died in 1997 still gigging around Atlanta, largely unknown. Fit. Critically revered, commercially invisible, the textbook forgotten story. James Carr, The Dark End of the Street, 1967, written by Dan Penn and Chips Moman in about half an hour during a break in a poker game. Carr struggled with severe bipolar disorder that affected his ability to tour and perform consistently throughout his career, and famously froze on stage in Japan in 1979, unable to sing. Fit. Considered by critics one of the greatest soul recordings ever.
At the dark end. It's a sin, and we know it's wrong.
Yet it stalled at number 77 pop, never a mainstream staple.
They're gonna find us. And when the day
Wendy Jones, Hypnotized, 1967. A lifelong type 1 diabetic, she went to rest at her mother's house between 2 Apollo Theater shows and slipped into a diabetic coma.
coming on strong.
dying at 27. Fit, a near top 20 hit in its day, now essentially unknown outside soul circles. Bettye Swann, Make Me Yours, 1967, hit number 1 R&B and number 21 pop in 1967.
They're gonna find us a street. You and me still wait. No time is gonna take its toll. At the dark end.
She later changed her name to Betty Barton, became a schoolteacher and a Jehovah's Witness, and walked away from music entirely.
We have to pay for the love.
So completely that in 2023 conflicting reports left fans unsure for a day whether she was even still alive. Fit, a number 1 hit erased almost entirely from public memory. Garland Green, Jealous Kind of Fella, 1969, discovered by Argia B. Collins. A local barbecue chain owner who overheard him singing in a pool room and paid for him to attend the Chicago Conservatory of Music. The song sold 1 million copies by 1971, but he never repeated that success. Fit, a gold single. But a genuine one-and-done story most listeners today have never heard. Doris Duke, To the Other Woman, I'm the Other Woman, 1970, her album, I'm a Loser. Was considered the finest deep soul record of all time by soul historian Dave Godin. Yet it was rejected by dozens of labels first. Producer Swamp Dogg said he damn near lost everything on it. Walking the streets of New York for 6 months trying to give the album away for free.
And I'm so ashamed. Please don't be too mad at me. Don't disgrace me.
O.V. Wright, A Nickel and a Nail, 1971.
Hello, baby. You've given me more happiness, you said. I let my jealousy go straight.
Wright was imprisoned for narcotics offenses in the mid-1970s and never recovered commercially.
Love you things I didn't say that it hurt. I think I'd call my baby. Yes, I am now. My head and I apologize. So please, man, today.
Dying of a heart attack on stage at 41. Fit.
On a shadow of doubt, we are innocent.
Called by critics one of the greatest soul songs ever written,
I fell into the jury. I intend to prove beyond as they were taking me away. This is what killed me. Running tears, that man. It was
still virtually unknown outside deep soul fandom.
Judge, Your Honor. Loving you. Really love me would define you guilty too. I dreamed that love.
Darondo, didn't I? 1972. Darondo vanished for 30 years.
So sorry for you were taking. I saw you when you were taking. Was a crime. Oh, true love, a crime.
A music historian tracked him down by cold calling every Pulliam.
I was alone, so lonely, and they found me guilty of you, my love. Do you
In the Bay Area phone book, until Darondo called him back out of nowhere.
know why? Because in my heart, the witness stand. You know what? I be so blue. You know why? Because all I knew, oh yeah, women, Lord, blind. How could they 8 men and 4?
Fit, only rediscovered in the 2000s via a British radio DJ. Most people have never heard the original.